What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves. Hi, what's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another great episode of the All Around. I am your gracious host, Dr. Anthony, and we have some interesting topics for you today. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring out my co-host, my producer, Mark Lee, so we can get into these hot topics. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous of you because you're sitting over there in Hawaii on an island enjoying yourself, and
I am in Hawaii.
I'm like, wait a minute, this is not right. She did not call me. She didn't ask me if I wanted to go. This is just totally wrong. You know, some island sun, some the ocean time would be a wonderful thing. But Dr. Anthony did not call and ask if I wanted to join her. I'm just feeling a little, I'm feeling a little jaded now. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, I don't feel jaded. I'm kicking it with my son, my nephew's son. It's my brother's child, but I played a significant role in his life and raising him, so I call him my son. So I just came over to visit him and chill with him because I was supposed to actually go to Korea and visit him there, and time just got the best of me, and I wasn't able to make it to Korea. So I told him I would definitely be coming to Hawaii for spring break. So I am definitely in Hawaii visiting him and doing what we do. So it is now 9:07 a.m. right now in Hawaii, and I know it's like about 3 o'clock over there or whatever. So my sleep patterns.
It's like 3:07. I know we got some hot topics. I did have a question to ask you before we get to the hot topics because you sent me an email, so I need to let everybody know that they need to be trying to help you out because we need you to be number one as the number one teacher because I know that I did my part, and we'll have to put it in the link maybe in one of our descriptions and everything so that folks can know that Dr. Anthony is a great teacher and needs to be awarded a great teacher abilities and everything. So I did know that. I think when I first came in, you were 23, and I made my contribution and pushed you up to number 9. So we need other people to watch you to push you on up to number 1 so that you can get that money, get that prize, get that trip, and all along those lines. So I just wanted to let folks know to check it out. If you want to tell them the name of that award so they can be trying to vote for you, that would be wonderful too. But definitely I saw that.
It's actually through Reader's Digest, and the voting takes place every day, so you can vote for free once a day. But if you pay for voting, and then I'm not asking anyone to pay for voting unless you just feel it up on your heart that you will want to contribute and pay for voting, you have the ability to make a donation towards the cause. And it's going to send one lucky teacher back to Hawaii and give them $25,000. And I hope that will be me. And we would definitely place the link here and also on my social media. And I'm going to ask Mark to share it on his social media so that, my fans can support me and vote for me and get me to be number 1. So it's a daily vote. So make sure you vote daily. Every day you got to vote for me. So don't forget. And I will definitely be posting it on my social media so that you guys can vote. All right. Now,
I would definitely be voting for you, and I did do the money vote this time around. Don't know I can do it every time, but I did do the money vote this time.
Yay, because I can't do the money vote for myself. They won't allow it. So if you guys, like I said, if you feel it in your heart to donate, whatever you can donate, it will be greatly appreciated. It goes toward a worthy cause to, support teachers and educators. And not only that, you will be supporting myself. So let's make it happen. Let's do what it do. And, let's get me to number 1. So with that being said, without any further ado, so Mark, there has been all of this crazy nonsense going on social media. So I don't know if you've been keeping up with it, but there has been this culture of people going out on dates and expecting people to split the bill. Or if a man is present at the date, the expectation is the man is supposed to take care of all of the bill for all of the women. So there has been.
Hold on a second. Back up. Because I've not been following this. I'm not gonna lie to you, Dr. Anthony, and everything. So let me get this right. This is not a date group. This is a group of folks that are hanging out together, like a social group. So like if a group of people came out and it was like 8 women and 1 guy, and they're like maybe they all work together and everything. the guy is supposed to pay the bill, even though it's not like a date? Because when you first told me this, I was thinking it was like a date, which of course you wouldn't be truthfully not dating three women at the same time and everything. Even though there's some people that might try that, but hopefully they're not trying to do that and everything.
No.
But we're talking about a group, and we're saying the man is supposed to expected to pay for everybody in the group.
The man is expected to, this is their dating culture, and the man is expected to pay for everybody in the group. So for example, if I take my boyfriend out and it's one of my friends' birthday, I'm not gonna be opposed to him paying for my girls' dinner, but paying for everybody else's. No, you're not doing that. He can pay for mine and my girl, but as far as everybody else's, no, you're on your own. He's not doing that. And so the thing, this culture is, if we're all dining together, we should split the bill equally amongst ourselves. And I tell people all the time, I'm paying for what I ordered. I don't care if you ordered tomahawk steaks and this, and the other. What I ordered is what I'm paying for. Because sometimes my stomach is, it's a little finicky. Sometimes I can go out and eat, and I can eat a lot. Sometimes I can go out and just get a kid's meal down. Sometimes I can't even get that down. It's just, like a few bites of something and I'm taking it home. So am I going to split a bill that's, like $2,000 and I'm having to pay $200 when I only paid, when my portion of the bill was only $10? No, I'm not doing that. And that is going to be communicated before I even step foot out into wherever we're going. I'm not footing your bill. I don't care what we got going on or what you got going on. That is something that I'm not going to do. Now, if I invite you and say, hey, I got you, I want to take you out, I want to, hang out, I want to do this, then that's different. Then I'm footing the bill. And I let people know up front, hey, I got you. I'm going to foot the bill. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But for you just to assume and try to check my pockets, although I have it, I'm still not, checking for you like that. And I'm still not, paying any money for you in that regard. And I think that's just wrong of people to just automatically assume that, just because we're all dining, that we're going to equally split the bill. No, we're not doing that one. And I'm
No.
sorry.
No, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. I did see something similar, and I want to bring up the video that's almost as wrong on social media, but it was involving social media and how sometimes when people go out on dinner dates, they are sometimes so engaged on their other situations, whether that's another date, whether that's another boyfriend, another girlfriend, whether that's work related or whatever. And it was this woman that I saw on social media that had what can only be described as a smorgasbord of food, because she had a whole lot of food in front of her and everything, but she was also spending most of the time on her cell phone. So she didn't even seem like she was engaged with the person that put her to the date and everything. And that was actually something else on social media, because they were asking whether the guy should walk away from that person, since the person apparently wasn't paying attention to the date. They were too busy, like not even, I don't even know if they were paying attention to the food, but they were too busy on social media and all along those lines. So that's something I saw a few days ago, because it was on one of the groups that I belong to. I think it's in Facebook. And they were asking the question, should you stick around with this person? And a whole lot of people were like, get to stepping. If that person is being that inconsiderate, get to stepping.
I mean, I don't think it's being inconsiderate, because I tell people all the time, like I lead a very busy life. And so I have things that are going on even when I'm not at work. So I am engaged on my phone. But I typically let the person know before I even go out with them that, hey, I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z while we're here. I'm going to do, A, B, and C. So I have to, engage on my phone or whatever. So I let people know up front that, hey, although I'm going to be out with you, I still have some other responsibilities that I have to take, that has to take place right now, because it has to get done. So it's not like I didn't tell you from jump that I'm going to be on my phone. It's not like I didn't tell you from jump that I have to respond to, certain things. It's not like and this is just me personally. So I always let the person know that, hey, I have, something going on. Even when they ask me out, I'm like, I'm extremely busy, but I'm gonna squeeze you in so that, you don't think that I'm acting funny. But if I go with you, I have these other things that I have to attend to that is very pressing that I need to take, in sometimes I have to take a phone call at the table. Sometimes I have to respond to a text message. Sometimes I have to respond to a patient needs. Sometimes I have to respond to a student need. So I think with that being said, I think communication plays a part. But I think, also if you're just straight out being rude and disrespectful or whatever, I think, that just puts it to, a whole different level. But
Hey,
I do tend to let people know that I am on my phone consistently, you
hey,
know.
Dr. Anthony, before we play the video, can I ask you a question? Because
Mhm.
it's come up in a couple of conversations, not just with you, but with other friends of mine as well. I actually just found out that two friends of mine, I think, are involved, and I just recently learning this and everything. But what is your attitude? Because you have mentioned a couple of times having this newer relationship, because it is a newer one, this particular one that you are dating and involved with and everything. But what is your attitude? Because you kind of alluded to it just in that comment and everything, in what some people call friend dates and all along those lines. So even if you have a significant other, is it all right to go out on a dinner outing with somebody that is only a friend? That's the question I was.
Yes. Yes, it is, because before your significant other, you have friends before that person. And when I start dating people, a person or whatever, I let them know off the break. My friends are not going anywhere. My friends were there before you. I'm friends with their wives, and things like that or whatever. So I don't understand why you should have a problem with my male friends. If their wives don't have a problem with us, being friends or whatever, why should you have a problem? Why should you feel threatened about me having friends, that's of the opposite sex? And I think that's very asinine of someone to, like automatically accuse, someone of being in a sexual relationship or whatever. And I think that's very immature because, I know a lot of people who are around, my age in my career field and things like that. We have mutual friends that are male, female, or whatever, and we hang out, we go to dinner, and we do certain things, and we go home to our significant others. So I don't think that, anything is wrong with that. Now, if you have malicious intent, then that's a different story. But my thing is, I'm grown. I don't have to hide anything. I'm gonna let you know who I'm hanging out with. I'm gonna let you know where I'm going. I'm gonna let you know when I get back home, and things like that. I'm going to introduce you to my friends. Now, it's up to you how you handle that relationship, because I cannot control your feelings and things like that or whatever. But if you feel some type of way, that's on you, because you feel some type of way. It's not because I didn't introduce you to my friends. It's not that I did not tell my friends about you. It's not any of that. It's your comprehension of what you think you see or whatever. And I think it's very asinine, and I think it's very childish. And for me, that's a deal breaker for me, because my thing is that just lets me know that you can't trust me as a person to, do the right thing, and stuff like that. Because my thing is, if I had these friends prior to you, why would our friendships, be a concern of yours now that we're engaged in, like an intimate relationship? We were never engaged. My friends and I were never engaged in an intimate relationship. We've always been friends, and that's where it always been. I've never disrespected them. I've never talked any kind of way towards them or whatever. Now, granted, we joke around and things like that, but that's what it is. It's jokes, and that's where it stays. But as far as, any intent or anything like that, it is nothing past that. And I think it's very immature of a person to say that, oh, you can't have a friend because he's a male. Why not? He was my
Yeah,
friend before I started
I
dating
don't
you.
get that either. But on the flip side of that, Dr. Anthony, I have had, and I'll just be very candid and everything along those lines, because you like candidness on
I
this
do.
show and everything, and all along those lines. But I've had some folks and some of my friends that even tease me to this day that were in bad relationships. They were in insecure relationships and all in that spaces. So they sometimes would bring that into their new relationship, namely me. And I've had a couple of friends of mine that have talked about my stalker girlfriends, because they would talk about these young ladies that were, as you just put it, insecure about their relationship with me, or insecure about what was going on, and that they would sometimes follow me. I remember one time, literally, I get around by mass transit and by friends and family plan and everything, and I remember literally coming back to the house I was living at the time, because it wasn't an apartment, it was a house, and my friend who dropped me off is like, I don't know where that person is there, but I think they're stalking you. They're gonna just go in to try to figure out who I am when I drop you off. And all it was a male friend dropping me off from us having gone to I think it was a baseball game or a concert or something like
Mhm.
that. But it was nothing, nothing social, because I definitely don't flip that way. There was nothing in that kind of regards and everything. But yeah, there's a couple of them that they called them my stalker ladies and everything, because they were sitting there camping out trying to figure out who are you with, why were you with them, and maybe try to catch you in a bad situation because they had been in a bad situation
And
before.
again, that goes back to, like insecurities. I don't
Mhm.
care. Let me just put this out there. If a man or a woman is into you, they're going to be into you. No
Right.
matter what you got going on, no matter who you talk to, no matter what the situation is. If that person is going to cheat, no matter what you do, that person is going to cheat. That's on their own volition. That's on their own free will. It has nothing to do with you, how much time you're putting in or anything like that. That's on them. So my thing is, if you can't be adult about a situation, because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to stalk you. I'm not going to, chase you, because I don't chase after men. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna let you know where it is and what it's about and things like that or whatever. And it's either you deal with it or you don't, or we can go our separate ways. Now, back in the day when I was younger, yeah, I probably would have done some stuff like that. But now that I'm older, it is what it is. I'm not doing any of that foolishness and things like that or whatever, playing the crazy girlfriend, the crazy ex-girlfriend, the crazy whatever. I'm not doing all that. It's not enough, time and energy to put into the foolishness like that. It's either we're going to be an item or we're not. If you're
Yeah.
going to cheat, just let me know and give me the opportunity to make a decision on if I want to stay around or if I want to go, if I want to bounce. It's just simple as having a conversation. There's no need to lie, there's no need to play games, there's no need to do any of that stuff, because life is short. And you have people who are mentally incapable of understanding that people have friends. People had friends before they met you, and that they still have these same friends or whatever. I can use my friend Michael Nathan, for example, my manager Michael Nathan. A lot of his female friends, they have a problem with me when they find out that he's my manager, we're friends and stuff like that. They automatically start accusing him of, oh, you want to like her, you want to sex her, you want to do all this stuff. And he's like, no, we're just friends. And that's what it is. We're just friends. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I call Mike and Nathan. We can have conversation. I'll be like, hey, I need X, Y, and Z. Can you do this? Can you do that? Blase, blase. He'll do the same for me. Dr. Anthony, are you able to help me with this situation? Are you able to help me with that situation? I tell him what I want for the show. I tell him what I need for, whatever I need. And that's the extent of the friendship. Whomever I'm dating gets introduced to Mike and Nathan. You know what I'm saying? And whomever my other male friends or whatever. And that's the extent of the relationship. We are friends and that's it. I don't mess around with my friends. I don't sleep with my friends. I don't play those kind of games with my friends. And it's up to you as the adult to be able to trust me as your girl, as your woman, that I'm going to do the right thing. And when you're saying, oh, you feel uncomfortable with me having male friends, that tells me right off the break that you have a problem with trust issues, you're insecure and things like that. We were friends before I met you. We were friends before I started dating you. So why would my friendship change with this situation and me dating you? It doesn't make any sense. So my
Doesn't
thing
make
is,
any sense at all.
I'm gonna
Well,
I'm gonna let you make it, and you can go and date somebody that's on your level of emotions and things like that, and that emotional insecurity. I'm gonna let you have it over there because I'm not
yeah,
gonna deal with it.
I know that's right. Hey, Dr. Anthony, along those same lines, what do you say to folks when they talk about this notion of people? I know that I've been accused of this in the past. I don't necessarily agree with it and everything, but what do you say to folks that think that there is a notion that folks are commitment phobes and that they have a thing against being in a committed relationship? And I think that you need to learn the person before you even decide whether you're going to be committed, but I
And that's
don't know.
okay. It's okay. It is whatever floats your boat. You don't have to be in a committed relationship. You can be in a relationship where you guys communicate or you guys just want to have sex. That's whatever that you decide that you want to do with that person. Say it from the jump. Don't lead the person on. Give them your inclination of what you perceive this relationship to be. Let them know what you want. Let them know the position that you stand. Where's no miscommunication, no misunderstanding, and things like that. And your relationship and your life will be a whole lot better. My thing is, don't lead a person on. If you know this is not what you want, then say that in the jump. Hey, I just want to be friends. If we're intimate, we're intimate, but it goes no further than that. You know what I'm saying? We're not moving. So when I was younger, I was sort of in a relationship like that. I was like, I only wanted to be sexual. And so initially he was like, okay, that's cool. Then he was like, I want more. And I'm like, no, I told you I only wanted to be sexual. I don't want more from you. And that's it, or whatever. And he was like, but I really like you. I'm falling in love with you. Okay. But I told you from jump that I only wanted the relationship to be sexual, and that's all I wanted from you. And that's it. And so even now to this day, I still get, like random messages. Hey, what are you doing? I still want you. I still want to be a part of your life. Okay, well, I don't want that from you. And I told you from jump that I don't want that from you. And so people go in those type of situations with the idea of I can change this person's mind. You're not going to change my mind because I've already told you what I wanted. And so if you can't fulfill that need and you want something different, then I'm going to have to let you go, which I did. And this was like, oh my God, 10 years
No,
ago.
no, no. Speaking of 10 years
Years
ago and
ago.
everything, I had the craziest thing happen recently. And I know that Dave looked at my social media. I've looked at their social media, but I was not expecting, and it happened a couple of days ago. And shucks, they helped me celebrate my 50th. So it had to been about 10 or 11 years ago that we broke up and everything. And they sent me a friend request. And I'm sitting there going like, I haven't heard from you in ages. Where did this come from? And everything. So I've not responded back to that friend request. I'm still trying to decide whether I'm going to respond or not and everything. But it just came out of the blue. And it came out of the blue because, like I said, we've not, even though they live in a similar area in the Carolinas and in what we call the Triangle Park, I have not heard from them or physically seen them probably in about 3 or 4 years, if not longer, and everything. But I was just sitting there looking at my Facebook and I'm like, wait a minute, because I had to switch pages because sometimes things get hacked. I'm like, I ain't heard from this person in ages. When did they decide that they wanted to jump back in my friend space?
And that's another thing. I don't care if you follow me on social media because what I do is I post my show. I post things that are going on in my life, but you never really know what's going on in my life. I post what I want to post and things like that. And I'm okay. If you want to, see me post 1,000 selfies and 1,000 pictures of myself, you want to see me dancing at school with the kids, that's okay. I'm gonna let you see me dancing at school with the kids. If you want to see me giving my opinion, that's okay. I'm gonna allow you to see that or whatever. I don't have an issue with that. But you never really see that intimate part of my life because I've never shown it. And to this day, I've never shown it. So you think you know me, but you really don't. You know what I want you to know. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to know that side of me or whatever, because it's different layers to everybody. Everybody doesn't show you everything. And I'm like that on social media. You only get a certain amount of me, a certain layer of me. Just like, all the different personalities. When I wake up, you may get one personality. Tomorrow, you may get another one. Let me take a nap. You may get a different one. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. It's different layers. So I don't have a problem with, you want to follow me on social media. It's social media. It's there for entertainment purposes only. And, I keep up with my family and friends on social media, the ones that I can't communicate with on a daily basis and things like that or whatever. So I could give zero about who's following me on social media. You know what I'm saying? Just I appreciate the shares and follows. And I'm just
But Dr. Anthony, there's a difference between follow and friendly because to me, friending is a little bit more intimate. That's somebody that's trying to get more into your
they're still
personal.
friending me. They're still friending me. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't have a problem. I try not to have bad blood with people just because you had a situation or whatever. You can be on my social media. I don't care. It's not like you're personalizing anything that I have going on. It's not like you're coming to intimate dinners with my close friends and things like that. You're not doing any of that. All you're doing is seeing what I post on social media. I don't care.
Yeah, that
That
makes
doesn't
sense.
bother.
What do you think before we, and I am going to get to that video that
No,
we
it's
mentioned
fine.
it, but what do you think about the whole notion of the idea of people being put in the friend box? Because I know that I've been in that box before, and sometimes it's a box that you don't mind being placed in, and sometimes you're like, wait a minute, I had some other things or some other intentions that might not have been just the friend box and things, because sometimes
Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. If they put you in a friend box, that's exactly what they're expecting from you. Friendship. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to push anything, other than what it is, because if I say we're friends, that's exactly what we are. We're friends. And it's not going any further than that. It's a friendship. I might, hang out with you from time to time. We can go get some drinks. We can play video games. We can talk on the phone. But that's as far as it's going in the friend zone. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with that. And like I said, as for me, it's not going to ever cross, over into anything else. It's just what it is. It's just a friendship. And that's just how I see it, a friendship.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I can definitely agree with that. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you're sitting there going like, "Wait a minute," because sometimes they don't always they're not always as candid as you are. Because one thing I was saying about Nancy Anthony, she is very candid and everything, but you do have some folks that I think I'm not saying
Yes,
all,
I
but
do have
there
an
are some
attention.
women that leave people in the friend box with kind of like their backup play, for lack of a better term.
No,
Because I've seen some women that do that. So they might say that they are only your friends. I don't think that about you, and I think you are very sincere. But I have seen some people that put that friend box almost as a backup play and everything, because they are wanting that person to stay in their life so they can have them at their disposal should they decide that things are not working out. And like I said, you're very sincere, so I don't think you play those kind of games. Matter of fact, I know
no,
you
and I'm
play.
not. And that's the thing. If I say that we're friends, that's exactly what we are. We're friends. I'm not having you in no friend zone. Like I'm gonna start dating you after I break up with whomever I'm dating at the time or whatever. For me it just doesn't work like that. And like you said, some people do operate like that, but Dr. Anthony don't operate like that.
Well, I
But
know you don't
like
operate like that.
yeah, and I just think people play dirty, malicious games when, they do stuff like that or whatever, because you're not being sincere to the person that you're dating. Just like, not long ago I had like my Facebook page was shut down. A lot of y'all don't know that my Facebook page was shut down, and I don't know why my Facebook page was shut down. So I had to start a new Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
So since I've started a new Facebook page, I've been, like adequately gaining my followers and, things like that or whatever. So make sure you click like, share, and follow me on Facebook. And so I've been having an influx of men DMing me, sending me pictures of their private parts and things like that or whatever. Oh, I got a big, whatever. Like that's gonna entice me and want to make me, like stop talking to the person that I'm talking to and deal with them. First of all, that's very disrespectful, it's rude.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, if you do that to me, you're gonna get blocked instantly. And I'm not going to give second thoughts or anything like that, because one, that's showing that you don't have no respect for me, and two, that's showing that you don't have no respect for my relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to entertain it. So some people may entertain it, but I'm not going to be that broad that entertains any of the foolishness and things like that or whatever. And then I've noticed that it's like, the DMs have been like this playground for, like hooking up and things like that. Well, you got the wrong person over here, because we ain't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? So if I get any messages, DMs, anything that's out of the way, I'm blocking you instantly. I'm not even going back and forth with you, asking you why, what are you doing this for, anything like that. You're getting blocked instantaneously and things like that or whatever, because I don't have time for the foolishness and things like that. Because my thing is, if I was dating you, would you want me communicating and conspiring with the man that is in my DMs, or things like that or whatever? And even the women have been in my DMs about how beautiful I am, and this is that and other, which I don't like women like that. But it's just the point of the matter. If I was in a relationship with any of you, would you want me DMing and talking to somebody else or whatever? And that's just flat out disrespectful, and I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to instantaneously block you and things like that or whatever. So I just don't think that people should be playing the fence when it comes to, staying friends and, things like that. Like you have a backup plan or you have a backup partner or whatever. It messes it up for people like me who genuinely have friendships with, men. And that's all it is. It's just a friendship. Just like I had a friend, he needed my help the other day, and he asked me to drop by his apartment when I was on my way to Baltimore. And by the way, I'm going to be in a play April 20th, the Sanford and Son play. I don't have no speaking lines, but I got a little tiny role in the play or whatever. So I'll give y'all more information as as I get it about that. But I dropped by, helped him with, some spreadsheet, information and stuff like that. And that's what it is. And then like, we communicated, about, work stuff and, things that's going on in our lives and things like that. And that's what it was. I did what I needed to do, left, and went to where I needed to go or whatever. And, that's just friendship or whatever. It's no ulterior motive. It's nothing behind it or whatever. It's just friendship. And I know that if I needed my friend, he would be there for me if I needed him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's clearly communicated across the relationship that, I have male friends, and sometimes they do stuff for me that I need done or whatever. But that's as far as it goes. I'm not playing no fence, no sideways stuff, and trying to have no spare. I'm not doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, you don't need to do that. You're too classy for that and everything. I do have to ask you another quick question and everything, because I've seen something that some people are very much into, and all along those lines, I think that it is really impossible, because I think a lot of times people that are of the group that I'm going to mention are already locked into their lifestyle and everything. But I can't tell you how many, and it's not just young guys, it's old guys too, that think that they are going to flip a lesbian woman because they have this kind of fantasy that they're going to be able to pull off the three-way and all along those lines, because they're thinking that the women who apparently like women, that's why they're lesbians, are going to all of a sudden be turned on by them, and that they're going to have this fantasy that they are able to carry out of being with two women at the same time. And we also know that no matter what the relationships are, all relationships carry emotions, and you are given a part of your heart and everything else to whoever you're involved with and everything. But I have heard that from both young and old folks. And I'm sitting there going like, that sounds like some very wishful thinking to me. I don't know that you're going to actually pull that off and everything. But hey, some stranger things have happened. But
You
a
know,
lot of times I think it's wishful thinking.
I mean, it is wishful for thinking, but it's certain people out there that may, oblige you and appease your fantasies or whatever. But I don't do stuff like that or whatever. But there's this culture of like swingers and things like that, and they do, stuff like that. Like I was actually invited into, that culture, and I refused. I'm like, I'm not into that. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I do. That's not what I want or whatever. I want one man and that's it. And I'm not sharing, my guy or my body, with other people like that. I'm not doing that. But I know that in the recent years that this has been a major shift in like couples relationships and things like that or whatever, having those swinger parties and doing it consistently and going from like state to state, place to place, and doing that stuff or whatever. I'm quite sure it's somebody out there that will appease and oblige your fantasy, but coming over here, I'm not doing it. But like I said, it is what it is. But whatever makes your boat float, just know that I'm not that girl.
No, I know that's right. It is what it is. And I got invited, this was many years ago, probably about 12, 13 years ago, if not longer, to one of those things. It was one of those socials, like you just said, and everything. And it was a very eclectic mix. It was not what I expected. And I definitely did not carry it to the extreme because it was in a public place, which is, like I said, some friends invited me to go check it out. And I'm sitting there going, like, I think one of the women was a teacher. Speaking of teachers, there was a fireman that was there that I learned about, and there was a other people. So there are people in that lifestyle that might shock you that they are in that lifestyle. And like I said, there were some that were the stereotypical image of what people see on the magazines of what a swinger looks like and everything. And there were others that you're sitting there going like, nah, you're not quite cutting it and everything. So it definitely cut all ranges. And like I said, this was decades ago that I went, but I even saw like I think a 70-year-old grandma, might have been a couple of grandmas that were in that lifestyle. I'm going like, you're a grandma. What are you doing in this lifestyle? And there was even some families that were in that lifestyle too, meaning that it was husband and wife, or even sometimes I think kids that were involved with their parents, and a number of other strange things that were going on. But I definitely saw a eclectic mix of people. I'll just put it that way. Like I said, I only been to
And
one of
again, I mean, it's somebody out there for all of your fantasy needs and things like that. It's just not me. I'm not into that lifestyle. I'm not into that stuff like that or whatever. But
no,
like I said,
like I said, and I'm with you on that because I was invited to this event. It was a one-time deal. I've had one of my friends that was invited to that same event. It's like, let's go to another one. I'm like, no, I got my one thrill. I don't need to go do it again and everything. And like I said, we wasn't even in that environment of actual the act. I'm sure that would be a whole nother chemistry. But as I just mentioned earlier, I think that there is a lot of you're having to give a part of your heart, whether you think you are or not, into those relationships, and that's too much fragmented heart in my mind and everything. So that's probably
mhm.
why I would not get involved in them, because I just think that it's hard enough being in a single relationship with one person at a time versus trying to be in a relationship with multiple friends and everything. I mean, I have I won't say a coworker, but a associate of mine in the local art community that is in a um, been in several polygamous relationships. So he has multiple wives, and he somehow manages to get away with it and everything. But I'm like, I don't even want to know. One, like I said, it's hard enough, and we talk about money and the expense of being in dates and just being in relationships and life in general. I can only imagine what it'd be like trying to do that with more than one. Because I want to say at one time he had three, and all in that space. But no, that would not be for me either.
Yeah, and like I said, whatever makes your boat float, that's on you. But don't expect me to like please you and oblige you and what you got going on. Because I remember one time being approached by this female, and she was like, "Are you a lesbian or you like women?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not into women and stuff like that." And she was like, "Don't knock it till you try it." I was like, "First of all, I'm not trying it. Second of all, I like men, and things like that or whatever." So my thing is, don't try to recruit me into what you got going on, whatever your little twisted sadistic mind has going on. That's between you and your God that you pray to, because I'm not being a part of the foolishness and things like that. If my one guy can't please me, then that's what it is. I'd rather be by myself. So let's reel it back in and let's go ahead and play this video so we
Yeah,
can get back
go play this video, so at
this
least part of
culture
it.
of people expecting people to pay their bill when they go out to dinner. Let's
And
go
I
ahead and
still
roll it
can't
in
get
there.
it. I still can't get into that. I'm still going like, wait a minute, they expect to pay the bill and all along those lines. So we're gonna see what we can't get what this young lady had to say about that. So let's check it out.
On a man because he was the only one in the group of girls because they were celebrating a friend's birthday, and just because the rest of them, the whole women, did not really bring any, they didn't bring their men to the birthday celebration, and this woman brought her husband, and then all the women ganged up on him and we're saying, you know what, you're going to pay all the bills. And he paid for his wife's food, his food, and the birthday girl's food. So we're going to be checking out this video and see exactly what they did and how they caused a lot of chaos in that restaurant because of this. But before we get right into this video, make sure you please click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and also you leave your thoughts in the comment section by the end of this video and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. Let's get right into it.
Thank you guys so much. Any dessert?
Oh, no, no.
I don't want any dessert.
Can you separate it? I got the birthday girl and my wife.
Separate checks. Dang, I'm sorry, you're the only man at this table. Why are we doing separate checks? It's all women here.
No, but I'm not responsible for paying everybody. I got the birthday
But
girl.
you invited everybody. You invited all of us.
I didn't invite you. Ernestine invited you. Okay, I'm responsible for who I brought.
Okay, you're the only man at the table. I'm sorry, hold on. We was all doing Russian roulette, paying with credit cards and all that. Now all of a sudden you want to split checks? We're doing split checks now?
That was 2021.
Y'all
okay?
wait.
Things were different.
Not 21.
But I didn't sign up for that. Okay, there's nobody else doing
But
the.
you participate. I know we ain't got shit. I know. Wait a minute, y'all. Hold on. This is my birthday for real. Don't. Okay, well, I'm mad at me because I didn't have anything. No. I didn't get
Wait, but you
it's
still
Donnie's
paid.
birthday. Wait a minute. We're not doing this.
But you
No,
came
but you
though.
sat
So
at
you
the
still.
table. You don't pay for a seat. Okay, well, yes, no.
Listen,
There's
I don't
gratuity
care.
and everything on this
I don't care how y'all do it.
I didn't order for food. I just showed up. Well, I'm sorry. Dang, but you always pay. Like you're the only man at the table. You're not gonna pay the check.
But I'm not obligated. I got my whole family.
It's $700 for this whole table, and it's my birthday. This is your podcast co-host. This is your
only
best friend.
$700.
It's only Shan. You being cheap? Are you kidding me right now? You're honestly being cheap right now. Okay, first.
No, if that was the case, I'd have just took you out.
Are you being Dre? Are you gonna let him sit here with a whole table full of women? I really feel like it's not his responsibility, and when y'all get a husband.
I'm married.
I'm sorry. I do have a husband though. Hold on, wait a minute. Thank y'all.
No, so Donnie, you're good because it's your birthday, but
Y'all
most of y'all we want to chip in.
We're good. Y'all so embarrassing.
But you can.
Let me get out of here. Not us splitting checks.
You need to leave.
No, I'm not paying for anything. That's what I'm not paying for anything.
No, you had a couple drinks. You know what?
That's some bullshit. No. I'm not paying for anything. I'm gonna tell you tomorrow. No. He's the man at the table. He needs to pay.
Can you please separate the check, please?
You can go ahead and stop.
So they were upset because he didn't want to.
And rightfully so. He should have been upset because it's not his responsibility to take care of the whole check. He offered to pay for the birthday, his wife, and his bill, and everybody else should have been on their own. They cannot automatically assume just because the wife brought him to the event that he was going to assume the role and pay for everybody's food. Just like if I bring my man somewhere and it's all women. No, he's going to take care of mine and his, but you're on your own. You're not expecting my man to pay for you, and you're not expecting me and him to appease that whole bill. No, it just doesn't work like that. So, I mean, I don't understand where this culture of, automatically assuming that somebody is going to do something for you has come from or whatever. But, these people really need to check themselves. And like I tell people right off the break, like I said before, if I'm going out to eat with whomever, whatever I order and they put on that bill, that's what I'm paying for. I'm not paying 1 cent more. I will give a significant tip or whatever, but I'm not paying because you wanted to order tomahawk steaks and you wanted to order king crab, something that I can't even eat, and you want to order the top shelf, alcohol and things like that, and your bill comes up to 500 and my bill comes up to 50, and you expect me to pay part of your bill? No, we're not doing that.
No, I agree because that didn't make no sense. Those women did not need to be trying to get him to pay for the whole table. Like I said, I thought he had a good solution. That he was taking care of his lady and he was taking care of the birthday girl because that's who the event was for and everything, and nobody else. They need to be taking care of themselves, and all along those lines, it needed to be split in my mind. But I did have a question similar to what we're talking about here and everything. Do you sometimes get frustrated? Because I know you live, I know where you are now, but you live in the DC, Maryland area. And I know that even here in North Carolina, I'd be tripping sometimes when I'd be seeing people that be fronting because they want to get the most expensive wine or the most expensive liquor and all in that space. And sometimes they can't even afford it. And sometimes I don't think that it's all that good. I mean, I'm not a fan of certain liquors, but from what I've been told, Cristal isn't all that. But you got some people that want to get out there and want to get some Cristal and get some of these other drinks that are highly expensive and everything. And they think that they're fronting. I remember there was a rapper. The club doesn't exist anymore either, but he used to love coming into a certain club that I used to front, and he would be there positioning with his boys and everything, and they'd be getting Cristal or whatever the latest drink of choice was and everything. So I sometimes get frustrated. I mean, if you got it and you want to flaunt it, I guess you can and everything, but sometimes it seems kind of empty to me. But I just wanted your take, because you get some of these ballers that be trying to think that they doing something by getting some Cristal or some of these other labels that I don't even know the names of and everything, but I'm sitting there going like, it ain't all that.
No, it's not. And my thing is whatever makes your boat float or whatever, because I mean, every time I go out, I have somebody who always either want to pay for my meal or, pay for my drinks and things like that or whatever. And I let them know, hey, I got me, and they're like, no, I want to take care of it. You're a very beautiful lady, da, 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 blase, blase. I want to pay for your meal. I want to pay for your drink and things like that. I'm like, I can pay for my own or whatever. I remember, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go back to your question. I remember one time my friend, she asked me to come out to eat at Ruth Chris or whatever. And so I ordered the same thing. I ordered steak, lobster, and sweet potato souffle. So it comes up to like about $150, $175. So the guy that was with her, he was like, oh, I'll take care of your bill. And he was like, man, it's like 150, 100. I said, sir, I can pay for my own. I said, this is what I eat when I come to Ruth Chris or whatever. He was like, oh, no, I was just saying, don't just say, I don't go anywhere expecting anyone to take care of anything for me. If I go to a restaurant and I know I'm going to eat $500 worth of food, I'm able to pay for my $500 worth of food. If I say I'm going to take you out for your birthday and you want to spend that amount of money, I know that I have prepared and I have, put that money aside to pay for your meal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get there in front and be like, well, you're on a budget and, I told you can't do this, you can't do that. No, that's not me or whatever. But, like I said, whatever makes your boat float. If you want the most expensive, drink in the restaurant, that's on you. I order what I like. I like Riesling. I like white wine. I like a sweet white wine. I don't like the dry. I don't like the dry red. I like a sweet red, so I order what I like in according to my palate. I'm not going to get something just because, other people are getting it. I remember we went to Miami for my girl's birthday. So we were standing at the bar. So this guy comes over. He was like, I'm buying all y'all shots. I was like, well, no, sir, I don't want a shot. He was like, you can get a shot. Sir, I don't want a shot. I'm good. I'm not drinking. So, I don't want a shot. So I'm not going to go and follow the masses with anything. If I want to drink, I will. If I don't want to drink, you're not going to make me drink. And that's just the bottom line. I don't care who's paying or whatever. I can pay for my own stuff. And that's just what it is or whatever. So, my mama always taught me, my stepdad always taught me, you never leave home unprepared. You always carry cash. And you always carry money with you because you never know what might not going to happen. You know, people, they talk a good game. They say that they're going to do X, Y, and Z. They say that they're going to, you know, put you up. They say that they're going to take care of this. And then, you know, when you get that bill, you know, strange looks start happening. And then, oh, I can't take care of this. Or I can't. So you would never put me in a situation where, you know, I'm ill prepared and I can't take care of myself and I can't pay for mine. So whatever I order on that menu, just know that I got mine. I can pay for mine.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Everything. I was just wondering, what do you think? Because I know sometimes, speaking of the club environment, sometimes people are all excited when they will buy the mystery drink and everything. Because I know that there are some people that come to the bar, they'll see the young lady there, and they'll automatically say, I got her, and they'll go ahead and pay for her drinks, even though, like you just said, they don't even know whether the woman is a drinker or not and everything, but they're just going to make an assumption, and she might even be a teetotaler, and then they might really get themselves in some trouble if they're sending a drink to a teetotaler. But you got some folks that think that they are macking, and they'll see the young, attractive woman, and they'll be sitting there going like, yeah, just go ahead and buy her whatever she wants in terms of drinks and everything. And sometimes she might be sitting there going like, all I want is a Coke.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've had that happen where, guys will come over and be like, hey, I'm going to buy you and your friends, drinks and stuff like that or whatever, which we're appreciative. And, sometimes I will take the drink. Sometimes I won't, it just depends or whatever, because I remember a situation where I used to live in Dallas, and the bartender was in on putting a date rape drug inside of the alcohol that was going to certain women. So, I'm very cautious and very wary about, people, getting me drinks and, things like that. If I don't go to the bar and get my drink myself, and if I'm not there watching you make my drink, then, I'm not accepting no drink from nobody, because you'll never have me barking at the moon, chasing my own ass and, doing all this other stuff or whatever. And then too, when guys, pay for your things, they expect things in return. So I'm very cautious of, allowing guys to pay for things for me and, stuff like that or whatever, which I've had, waitresses come over and be like, your bill has been taken care of. The gentleman over there pay for your food. The gentleman over there pay for your drinks and, things like that. I've had those situations as well. And, and I'll let them know, are you sure? I said, I can pay for my own stuff. And they're like, no, I wanted to, do this for you, blase, blase, whatever. But there is never an expectation when I go out that, hey, I'm about to get this man to, pay for my stuff, or, these men are about to do this for me. These men are about to do that for me. There's never that expectation. And I don't know where this paradigm shift has changed with, the women, with, having these expectations that men are automatically supposed to do these things. If you're not in a relationship with this man, or if this man doesn't want to do this on his own volition, I don't know where this expectation has come from that, y'all demanding these men to do certain things for you, and half of y'all can't even do it for yourselves. And I'm just like, they're like this bougie culture, but are you really bougie? You know what I'm saying? You're not knocking anybody's job or whatever, but you're making a dollar store, you're working at a dollar store, with a six-figure, expectation and budget and taste or whatever. So my thing is, if the situations were turned, are you able to reciprocate, and are you able to do the same thing for the man? So I know if my boyfriend buys me an expensive gift for, my birthday or whatever, I know that I can pay for his expensive gift on his birthday, Father's Day, and, Christmas and things like that or whatever. It's not an expectation that, it's only one-sided where you're only going to buy this for me and I'm not going to do anything for you. No, if you're spending money on me, I'm going to reciprocate and I'm going to spend money on you. That's just more than fair. It's not a one-sided situation. We're both in a relationship. We're both here. We're both there. And that's just how it goes. Now, do I have to take my card out when we're out to dinner? I don't, but sometimes I do take him out to dinner and I'm like, babe, I got it. I want to do this for you. Sometimes I'm like, I'll send him money and I'll be like, go buy yourself something or whatever, do this or do that, only because I want to show my appreciation for him, not because there's an expectation that I have to do this, because I don't have to do anything, just like he doesn't have to do things for me. But there's a mutual expectation and a mutual appreciation for the both of us. You know what I'm saying? It's not a one-sided type situation. And now these this culture with these women nowadays is, oh, I'm bad, I'm bougie, I'm this, I'm that. Oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to have 6 figures, you can't do this, you can't do that, you got to be making sex, this, that, and the other. You can't have no kids, you can't be, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, the unrealistic expectations that you're trying to place on the man, and you can't even do it yourself.
Yeah, I hear you. I know we've got about another 10 minutes to go, but I do have a political question. But before the political question, we're in the middle of March Madness. Go Marquette. We're in the Sweet 16 and everything. But a lot of these coaches have this kind of mentality, including some of the coaches here in the ACC and others of trying to be like the father figures or the mentor figures. I know that Shaka Smart talks about the gladiator mentality that he tries to put in his players and all along those lines. So as a teacher, and I know that you work with some coaches up there in DC, what is your thoughts around the coach as a role model? Because I know that Shaka definitely considers himself a role model in terms of trying to make sure that these folks are learning not just lessons of basketball, but also learning life lessons that they can carry with them later. And not every coach is like the coach of Marquette or even the coach of UNC, but there are some out there that I think are good in the sense of teaching life lessons and trying to make sure that these people are prepared, because there's only going to be a small percentage of them, even on my team, that'll make it to the NBA. And a lot of them will need to have life skills when they go into whatever their work jobs are and even their relationships and everything. So I just wanted your thoughts about coaches as mentors.
Well, coaches, contrary to popular belief, coaches are mentors. It's just like, teachers and people who are in the public profile, mentors and role models and things like that. That's just a title that we have solicited without soliciting it. It's a title that has been given or whatever, because I can take myself for an example. So when we have things going on at the school, for example, students dress like teachers and teachers dress like students, I have a lot of kids who emulate me. I have a lot of young women who emulate me, and, oh, I'm dressing like Dr. Anthony. Oh, I'm going to be Dr. Anthony for the day. And this, that, and the other. So regardless if that's the role that I want to take up on, it's a role that has been given and has been shedded up on me. And, I'm going to, make sure that I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that I'm living up to that expectation and I'm living up to that role with the child, because, regardless of what we got going on, those children are watching us. Those children are imitating us. Those children are, following in our path and our footsteps and things like that. And it just warms my heart when I have children who actually want to be Dr. Anthony, and, they're going around telling people, oh, I'm just like Dr. Anthony today. Or, I want to be Dr. Anthony. I want to do this and I want to do that and things like that or whatever. So I feel like I'm doing something right when I have a child who wants to emulate me and who wants to, do what I do and things like that or whatever. So, as an educator, as a former coach, I try to pour into my children, the children that are entrusted into my care, that, I'm doing the right thing, even when people are watching and even when people are not watching, I'm still doing the right thing. And so those kids know that they can depend on me. They know that I'm a straight shooter. They know that I'm going to give it to them straight. They know that I'm not going to sugarcoat and I'm not going to, hold anything back, but they also know that I will fight for them. And like I tell my students all the time, as long as you're in the right and you're not in the wrong, I will fight for you tooth and nail. I will fight for you all day long. But if I find out that you're ever lying and that you're playing, then you have lost my trust and you have lost my loyalty, because I would not fight for you. And most of the time, the kids are very honest and, they'll come and talk to me and things like that or whatever. Because, I've had people be like, how do you do that? And I'm like, what's that? Like, your kids are very well behaved. You have excellent classroom management skills and, this is that. I'm like, well, before I even start teaching, I lay out the foundation of what the expectations are inside of the classroom before I even get into, like teaching, because if the child does not know what you expect, how do you expect that child to, perform inside of that classroom and things like that or whatever? So I let the kids know right off the break what I expect from them, what they will expect from me, and, things like that. I let them know that, hey, you're not going to come in here cursing and disrespecting me, because I'm not going to curse and I'm not going to disrespect you. One of the things that I tell my students is, hey, I get it. I know you're going to have a bad day, because everybody is not on. Dr. Anthony have bad days. If you're having a bad day, just let me know. I know that I can't communicate with you that day. I know that you're not on. I know that you're not mentally ready. I know that you need a moment. I know that you need to put your head down. I know that you need a safe space. And those kids know I allow them to have that safe space. Also with their cell phones, sometimes the parents call them in my class. And I have told them, I said, if your parents are calling, just ask me politely, Dr. Anthony, can I step out in the hallway and take this call? I really need to take it. My mom is calling. I don't have a problem with you doing that. I'm going to allow you to step out in the hall to take that call, because guess what? Dr. Anthony mom's call when I'm in class, and I'm going to take that call too, because my mom lives, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 states away. And I need to know what's going on with her. And so my kids know that if my mom calls, I'm going to engage in that conversation. So I also give them an opportunity to engage in that conversation with their parents, but they just have to step out in the hall and do that. So I don't have any problems with, like
No,
behavior.
that makes a lot of sense, Dr. Anthony. And speaking of mom calls and everything, I had a mom call yesterday because mom was trying to figure out what was going on with her eye. She was having some issues with her retina and all along those lines. And she's actually got a procedure that'll be going on next Friday. So not this coming Friday, but next Friday. But yes, I do talk regularly to my mom, and I am not afraid to admit that. Do not consider myself a mama's boy. I also talk to my dad on a regular basis as well, and all along those lines, because I definitely think that I have a great deal of respect for both parents, and definitely love both of my parents as well. And definitely, I think that most folks should be in touch with their parents and all along those lines, because I know it may not be on a daily basis, but I do try to talk to mom at least every other day, if not every day, and that's have that ability to do that. Because like I said, don't have as far, because you are in the DC area and everything. I know that your mom's more in the Louisiana area, but my mom is in the same state, but not in the same city. But we do try to keep in touch, and I actually try to keep in touch with her live-in sisters. As a matter of fact, the younger sister, my youngest aunt, I need to give a call to at some point or another, because it's been a minute since I've heard from Aunt Vaughn and everything. But I talked to Aunt Julie and a number of the other family members, and even checking in on my nephews. You're talking about that, children of your son, nephew. I have some nephews as well that I try to at least make sure that they are doing good. As a matter of fact, I think that I learned that my nephews will be going to this summer to teen court. So they'll be learning about teen court, because a lot of people will have a teen court system, so they can learn about the justice system and learn what not to get caught up in, and all in that space. So I think they'll be doing that this coming summer and everything, if I remember what both mom and my brother told me.
And then, a lot of it deals with, like communication and, like I said, laying out those expectations and, things like that or whatever. So I just lay out the expectations for my student, what I expect of them, what I expect to see, and, things like that. And even kids that I don't know, who I don't teach, they know who I am. And if they see me in the hall and I hear them cursing, I'm like, I'll stop and I'll address it. I'm like, hey, watch your language. I'm like, you never know who's watching. You guys live in a technology information age. People are always recording. So just be mindful of what you're doing. I'm like, Dr. Anthony curse. I was like, my mama curse. I got a Southern mama. I said, she cursed like a sailor. I get it, honestly. I said, but it's different occasions when Dr. Anthony curse. It's different settings when Dr. Anthony curse. And so when I'm in this setting, Dr. Anthony doesn't use those type of words. Dr. Anthony uses,
You're very much professional in this setting, and I appreciate it. But I know that you can cuss up like a sailor if you want to and everything. Just really quickly, we've only got about another 2 minutes to go, but everybody's getting very antsy these days, because it looks like the orange man might be trying to prepare to win, and of course he's got to pick his vice president, and hopefully that will not be the case, because then I might have to move to Canada or one of the African nations or all of those.
I'm not going anywhere and things like that, but I want to dedicate the next show to talking about the politics and things like that or whatever, because there are these people out there that putting it out there that hey, black men may vote for Donald Trump and things like that or whatever. And I made a comment on one of those videos saying like, when you go to the voting polls, I want you to be honest with yourself. When you look at that list of people that are voting, and you look at that list of Republicans and things like that, and you think about and you recall and you recollect in your mind all the things that are going on with these Republicans, and as your black self, all the things that are going on with these Republicans, ask yourself this: when I pull that lever to vote, if I were in the same situation, would these people do the same thing for me that they're doing for Donald Trump? And if you can honestly say yes, then vote that way. But if you know you have some reservations and you're going to say no, then you know who you need to vote for. Because it's clear that, these people are pandering to get your vote, and they don't give two rats asses about, you as a person and about the Black community. They have been saying what they're going to do to the Black community and for the Black community for years and years and years. And we can use Donald Trump as an example. The Black guy who was tried down in, what was it, Georgia or whatever, mm-hmm. when he got arrested and things like that, and he couldn't make bail. Did Donald Trump go and make his bail? Did the Republican Party go and make his bail when they charged him and he sat in jail? So I just want you to look at that example, and I just want you to take that example while y'all sitting out here talking about the Democrats and this is that and other, and Joe Biden and things like that. The Democrats has done more for the Black race and the Black community than anyone has done, any of these Republicans. And while y'all sitting there talking about y'all had money under Trump, that's a lie. You didn't have money under Trump. You had a stimulus loan under Trump. When Trump gave you that stimulus check, y'all had to pay it back. That's why your taxes were less than what they were. You got stimulus money under Kamala Harris and Vice President Kamala Harris and President Joe Biden, which you did not have to pay back. They also gave you additional tax credit. They also gave you your earned income tax credit back for your children that Donald Trump took away. So while y'all sitting out there talking about you had money under Donald Trump, that's bullshit. That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? So, my thing is, like I said, when you go to your voting box, to that ballot box, and you see those Republican names, and you can honestly say that these white folks and these Republicans are going to treat you the same way that they're treating Donald Trump, then vote yes. But if you know reservations, then vote no.
They be lying big time and everything. I know we're at the top of the hour and everything, but I was going to say just really quickly, Kamala and Joe Biden were both here in North Carolina today because I think they were looking at some of their accomplishments and letting people know what those accomplishments were, because North Carolina is a swing state, just like there are a number of other swing states as well. I think Pennsylvania and definitely Wisconsin might be one of them as well, but definitely they are making their case, and were making their case earlier today. I've got to go back and watch some of the clips of what they said and all along those lines. And I know we'll be talking about politics on next week's show and everything at the regularly scheduled time of Monday at 6 o'clock and all along those lines. But that being said and everything, because hopefully you'll be back in your regular location and everything in that space. But that being said, they are making a play. And I know that you will probably agree with me, and we can talk about that on Monday as well, because one of the plays that the Republicans are trying to make is this appeal of going after the Judeo-Christian vote and the Christian vote, even the conservative Christian vote within our own community, because they're trying to make it seem as if they are the more righteous candidates, which I think is a joke, particularly when I see some of their viewpoints and everything. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to play to our moral center, because we do know that a lot of times African-American and other minority communities have a strong moral center. So they're trying to play to that moral center.
Well, and like I said, I think the Democrats need to hold steady and stand fast or whatever, because you have people like me who are putting that message out, and you have other, social media influencers who are definitely putting the message out about, how the Republicans are lying and things like that or whatever, and what the Democrats has actually done for the community and the people. And we could take the student loans, for example. Student loans are being, dismissed, where the Republicans went behind and, did some shadow campaigns to, stop the $20,000 from being sent out by President Joe Biden to people to help them who had the student loans, who received those grants and things like that or whatever. So, my thing is with the general public is know what you're talking about before you open your mouth and speak and say the Democrats hasn't done anything and the Republicans are doing whatever. The Republicans only want your vote. If the Republicans are doing what they needed to do, they wouldn't be pandering so hard to gerrymander and, redlining and things like that. And they wouldn't be pandering so hard to cheat and, things of that nature. But, like you said, it's the top of the hour and the clock on the wall says that's all. Make sure you click like and share and check us out on social media and, get the word out that we are back in business on Facebook, and I will connect back to Facebook at some point, but just not right now. So we will definitely see you guys on next Monday, and we have some more hot topics, and we're going to deep dive into more politics on next week when I'm definitely back in the States. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Sounds good.
Cheers, my loves.
Yeah. Bye.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves.